Hey, happy 2016, everyone. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year's. Of course, we're still in New Year's holiday weekend, but it's time to get back on camera, get back on track. We had a fantastic holiday season and just really blessed. We just had a great time, enjoyed the time off. Although we didn't really have that much time off, we were working. We just weren't putting any videos out. All right, so let's get to it. So thank you everyone for all of the great holiday wishes and Christmas wishes, and just everybody that's liking our Facebook page and our video, and we're just having great results, and we appreciate every one of you guys. All right, so question of the day from Roy Smith. Roy says, and this one, guys, is going to be a little bit longer than normal because this is almost kind of going to be a coffee and questions mixed with a little bit of teaching, although I don't have a router, but I think that this is a really good one to start the year off with. So I've been using your formula for charging signs by size. I use a baseline of $40 a square foot, and I carved an Irish cross for a customer and gave them a price of $70. The cross is 16 by 12. I factored in the amount of detail. I believe I was low. The project took me about 3.5 hours to carve, and as you can see in the photo, I guess there's a gray area of pricing of square footage versus detail involved. How would you go about this gray area for pricing? So this is really a good question. What would you have estimated for this job? So anyway, I've already answered you, Roy, but check, and Roy is the sign carver of the day, by the way. Check this sign out. He just did an amazing amount of work on this thing. It's just really, really, really nice. So, to answer that question, yes, I do start with a baseline of a square footage price. Now, I've gone, because I'm so busy these days, my prices have kind of gone up. Now I'm somewhere around the $60 to $70 a square foot range. But whatever your square foot range is, I want to show you in a real life example. I'm going through a kind of a pricing process with a customer, a potential customer right now. She hasn't, I've emailed her a price this morning. So to give you an idea, I'm going to show you something that I use when I quote, because 99 times out of 100 I quote prices over email or over the phone. I hardly ever see people face to face because we're so remote. So this gal wrote me, and she wanted a sign for her father. Let me see. I was going to kind of take you. Yeah, it says, hi, I was thinking about getting a sign for my dad, and I wanted to say the High Chaparral, Almost Heaven. Would you be able to do something like that? So that's where it started. So then I answered her, and here's another kind of a tip for you guys. When you have a customer that doesn't tell you what size sign they want, then it doesn't give you any place to start. So she left her phone number. I called her and I said, a lot of times what I tell customers or potential customers is, if you know what you want but you don't really know the size, think about where it's going to be, take a tape measure with you, and then hold it up both ways, and you can kind of get an idea of the size. That gives us a starting point. So she did that, and then in the meantime I sent her an email with a bunch of pictures of signs that I had done in the past that I thought might fit what she wanted. So this is one I did several years ago, and I sent her this picture along with a bunch of others. And this is one of the reasons that I take pictures most of the time of me holding the signs, because it gives them a perspective of how big they are. This one is, I didn't even measure how this one, I think it's about 12 by 42, 3.5 foot, something like that. I don't think it's quite 4 foot long. But anyway, I estimated this at about 12 by 42. So when she got back to me, she got back to me and said, yeah, I like the Caddyshack sign. I had sent her 3 or 4 or 5 different pictures, different sizes, shapes, all of that kind of stuff. She got back to me and said, hey, I like that Caddyshack sign. And you know, what would it cost for that? I know we're at 5 minutes. Thank you, baby. So I knew we're going to go long on this one. So anyway, so that gives me a starting point. I know what she wants for there. So I quoted her. I'll quote her. Now, what she said she wanted is all just lettering. She didn't say she wanted any artwork. So when I wrote her back, it was actually this morning. I haven't heard back from her yet. Probably later on. I wrote her back, and this is something that I do, you guys. When I'm emailing somebody a price on a sign, I have this in just kind of a Word document, and I copy and paste it into my email. That makes it really nice. And you guys may have special quote forms and special ways you do it. I'm just telling you the way I do it. So I copy and paste this in there, and then I alter it based on what I'm going to do on her sign. So this is what I wrote her back. And you can see that I have a place for artwork in there. Now, she didn't say she wanted any artwork, but I wanted her to know if she wants to add artwork, there'll be an extra charge. So I just based this sign, and I only did it at like $50 a square foot. But normally I'm around $60 to $70 a square foot. But there's not that much wording on here, so I'm keeping it kind of on the low end. And it's pretty much just a rectangle sign. But you'll notice that down underneath the pricing, I put this would include. And I think when you're emailing somebody, rather than just giving them a flat price, let them know some of the work that goes into the sign, some of the time-consuming things that are going to be involved in this sign. Now, in this particular sign, if she orders it this size, I won't have any laminations. It'll be probably make it out of pine. But if there's laminations involved, if there's a special shape involved, you have to take all that into account. It's not just square footage sometimes. There'll be extra charges. In this particular case with Roy, a huge amount of artwork. It's all artwork. So you really have to take that into account. What I would have charged for this sign, I would have started at the base of a square footage, probably $50, $60, $70 a square foot. And then I would have had an artwork charge of at least probably $100, because I knew that I would know that this would take so much time. So you have to take that into account, you guys. Now, I don't know whether this gal is going to order or not. I'll let you know, actually, maybe Monday or Tuesday, if she does end up ordering. But there are some, I'm in a different situation than a lot of you guys. I'm so busy. I do this every day. I mean, I literally quote signs probably 3 or 4 times a week. And some of them, honestly, I kind of price to the point where I kind of hope they don't order, because I got so much going on that I want to be able to make signs and get them out. And sometimes I can look at a sign, like I quoted one yesterday that was an oval sign. It would have been a really cool sign, but they had color on it. They had mocked it up somehow, and they wanted a picture of a beagle with all the colors and all of that stuff. And I was really kind of hoping that they didn't order. Fortunately, they didn't order. So I priced it accordingly. And sometimes I'm surprised. Sometimes I'll be up there around $70, $80 a square foot, and kind of hoping that they don't order and they come back and order right away. So it depends on who you're talking to. And it depends, again, how hungry you guys are. If you got no orders and you really want the job, and you want to carve signs, you're in a different position than I am. So anyway, I guess my point to this whole thing is start at a square foot, but honestly, you have to take each one individually and say, hey, is there going to be a lot of extra work, cutting a shape, artwork, laminating a board? You have to take all that into account and then add those on. But be sure when you quote them, especially if you're doing an email, let them know the value that they're getting. You know, all of these special things that you have to do, and especially, and I know there's a lot of you guys that put color on your signs. You actually paint them after. I don't do that. But if you're doing that, then again, put it in the list of what you're giving them as a value. Since I've started doing that a few years ago, my conversion rate on giving people prices on signs has gone way up. It's gone through the roof, really. Because before I was just saying, oh, your sign's going to cost $170 or whatever, and then I didn't put this would include yada yada, and then line item those out. People want to know, and they need to know the work that's going to go into this. And when you start doing that, you'll find that your conversion rate of quoting to getting the actual sale will really go up. So anyway, just some tips there. And again, this is more than a coffee and questions. This is more like a newsletter, really, on pricing. So the other thing is, remember, size isn't always everything. You know, you take somebody that does turning and they make a little bowl like this, and I have a huge admiration for that. Or even some of you scroll saw guys, the amount of work that goes into a piece that's like this, you can't go by the square foot. You know the hours and the time and the work that goes in. Some of you guys that are doing Intarsia, I can't even imagine the hours that go into that. So, you go from, just a sign almost into the artwork realm because of the time and effort involved in that. So take all of that into account when you're pricing signs. It's not just the square footage. There's other things that come into play. We're at 12 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm long-winded. I guess I've been resting my video voice for a week or two, and I'm spewing. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys, and keep up the great work. Thank you again. Please share our videos as much as you can. Like our Facebook page. If there's anything we can do for you, you know how to get a hold of me. And 2016 is going to be a phenomenal year, you guys. So go get them. Go sell some signs, make some sawdust, and be happy. Happy New Year, you guys. Bye-bye.